Esther Stubbs, founder of the Pelvic Power Movement and specialist physiotherapist. Today we're going to look at some exercises that you can be doing to help your breathing and pelvic floor function better together. We're going to be looking at some exercises to help expand that rib cage and get better diaphragmatic movement to allow that pelvic floor to really flourish. We need to oxygenate it, nourish it with a great blood flow and allow it to be able to be fully functioning, expanding and contracting dynamically to allow you to have the best pelvic floor experience possible. So, why is breathing so important to your pelvic floor? Well, the diaphragm works together with the pelvic floor in beautiful synergy when it's working correctly. As we inhale, the diaphragm allows the pelvic floor to relax. And as we exhale, the diaphragm allows the pelvic floor to contract. So if we have great diaphragmatic contraction and expansion, and we can get that to work synergetically with the pelvic floor, we will automatically have 24 hours a day great pelvic floor contraction and expansion. So let's look at some exercises we can be doing to help that ribcage and diaphragmatic expansion. Because we lead very sedentary lives, we spend a lot of our time sitting, hunched over a desk, maybe working at a computer screen. Driving in a car, we eat, we sit, we do all our activity in this position, which means that our body is quite closed. Our rib cage and our spine become a little bit kyphotic and stiff, and that prevents that diaphragm from having any space in which to expand. So we want to look at exercises that are going to open the chest up. We want to look at exercises that are going to allow the rib cage to expand and allow that diaphragm the space it needs to effectively contract and then relax with that breath. So many people suffer with back problems, as we know, and that impacts obviously the diaphragm and the pelvic floor. So what are 3 of the best exercises we could be doing to help with that pelvic floor and diaphragmatic expansion? So the first exercise that we're going to do and look at is going to help open the chest and pelvic floor. So if we stand or sit in this position with our arms at 90 degrees, we are going to open our chest. So inhaling, squeezing those shoulder blades together, opening that chest up and releasing on the exhale. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And as you can see, as we are squeezing that back and opening the chest, not only are we expanding and lengthening and stretching these chest muscles out, but we're also strengthening those upper back muscles. And in doing so, we're allowing those muscles to begin to support us in a more upright posture. If we can maintain a more upright posture, then we are less likely to be hunching over at your desk. You're more likely to sit up straight when you're driving, giving that abdominal diaphragm space to move, to breathe, allowing that pelvic floor to become nourished, increased blood flow and a healthier pelvic floor. So, keeping your elbows nice and tight into your sides, we're going to inhale, squeeze those muscles at the back, and exhale, release. Inhale, allowing that chest to expand, exhale, and relax. Inhale, and exhale, relax. Great. You want to be doing this regularly. Obviously, The more consistent you are with an exercise, the greater benefit. If we just do it a couple of times, well, we may get some benefits momentarily, obviously increased oxygen and increased blood flow, but we're not going to retrain the body and the brain. In order to retrain the body and the brain, we have to do the procedure or the exercise hundreds of times to build new neural pathways and new neural patterns and habits within our body. I know that you will find this very beneficial if you do it daily, and you can do it anywhere. You can do it waiting for the kettle to boil, you can do it sitting at your desk, you can do it, it's a bit difficult in the car, you need your hands to drive, but watching TV, it's an easy exercise to build into your daily routine just to get a little bit of chest expansion and some great pelvic floor nourishment of oxygen and blood flow. We want to think about where we are breathing. Are we chest breathing? Are we belly breathing? Are we rib cage breathing? Because ultimately we want to get the most enhanced experience that we possibly can. So let's just look at where we tend to breathe, and this will give us an idea of ways we can adapt to improve our breath for our pelvic floor. So if we just pop our hand on our chest and one hand on our belly and close our eyes, and notice where the breath is coming from. If you're predominantly a chest breather, then maybe you're quite tense, you maybe suffer with asthma, maybe you find yourself very in a stressful environment, or maybe quite anxious and fearful. Those kind of individuals will tend to breathe more from the chest, short and shallow breaths. That means that the rib cage isn't getting a good expansion on the big inhalation, and you can get stiffness, and that will obviously impact your breathing diaphragm and impact your pelvic floor. Some of us are more predominantly belly breathers, which is great for relaxing the pelvic floor, but we're not getting any good chest expansion, which means we're not getting any good diaphragmatic expansion. And when I say chest expansion, I'm talking about the entire rib cage. I'm talking about the ribs here at the back, because remember, ribs wrap all around, come from your spine. We want to get expansion in all directions, okay? Ideally, we want to be diaphragmatic breathing. We want to be breathing deep into the base of your lungs. We want to be bucket handle breathing, umbrella breathing, whatever you've heard it called, 3D rib cage breathing, breathing down deep here. This will give us a nice diaphragmatic breath, allow the diaphragm to work beautifully, impacting the pelvic floor in a positive way. So let's try just placing our hands on our lower rib cage and inhaling deeply through the nose and trying to get some expansion into these lower lungs here and this base of the rib cage. We're going to breathe deeply through the nose and release. Breathe deeply through the nose and release. And what should happen is you should feel that your hands slowly move away from your body. You could also place your hands here and notice as we breathe in and out if we're getting good expansion down the bottom. So choose your position of your hands to give you the most proprioceptive feedback. Feedback is great for your body. It gives your body an idea of what it's supposed to be doing. So give that a go. If you're experiencing quite a lot of back stiffness, then we're going to look at an exercise to open a little bit more and expand the movement in the back. Why don't you join me on the floor while we look at an upper spine expansioning exercise to help you get more rib cage movement. Right, so you're going to take a block. This is quite a wide block, so I would advise either using a rolled up towel is ideal, or a blanket, or a narrow block or a book, which will help you to relax better. You're going to place it on the floor, and we're going to put our upper back on this block. So we're going to come and lie on the block. The top of the block should be in line with your shoulders or the top of the towel. So as you can see, mine's a little bit high. So I'm just going to sit up and move it down a little bit. And now it's perfectly in line with my shoulders. Okay, I'm going to relax my legs straight. And as you can see, I'm slightly in an arched position. This is allowing my back to correct the forward posture that it normally maintains. I'm going to inhale my arms over my head and just rest in this position for a few seconds. Nice deep breaths into my diaphragm, just releasing and relaxing. And it may feel a little bit uncomfortable to begin with. And as we exhale, we will draw the arms around. Inhaling up again. And exhaling, draw the arms around. Inhaling up. And exhaling around. And you want to do this for at least a minute or two to allow your body just to release and relax in this position. Nice deep breath in and out. And if it is comfortable, you may just want to lie here and relax in this position. It's almost like an anti-sitting position or reverse sitting release. Nice deep breaths. You may want to pop a pillow under your head if this is uncomfortable for your neck. And just allow your body to relax. When you're ready, gently roll over to the side and come to sitting. So, those are 3 great exercises to work on to encourage the breath and the expansion of that diaphragmatic diaphragm, the breathing diaphragm, to allow your ribcage to open, expand and contract into nourishing and feeding that pelvic floor, giving it the blood flow and oxygen that it needs to be healthy. Combine that with some Kegels and you're well on your way to strengthening your pelvic floor. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. If you find this video helpful, please click like and subscribe below. Share this video with your friends. The Pelvic Power Movement is all about education and supporting women to have a fully functional pelvic floor. Take care for now.